Okay, so for those of you that are online, for you guys to get credit for this class, you have to keep your video on for me so I can moderate. I need to see your first and last name, and you need to obviously participate. You cannot be driving or shopping or doing anything else that will take you away from the class. Nick, are you going to be giving keywords? Like 3 keywords or whatever?
We're going to definitely cover Google Keyword Planner in combination with Chat.
Okay. Will you come up with 3 words? It can just be like light bulb, lollipop, okay, like 3 words at some time during this. And then those people online need to write those down and for them to get credit. If you guys, if you miss those keywords, don't ask each other. You need to ask me because you will not get credit if you ask each other. Okay, because
I apologize. I remember that from the setup. I've actually never been moderated before, so
I'm helping you. It's totally cool. So yep. I have the Google form, by the way. It's going to be in the chat, but I'm not going to put it there until it's closer to the end so that you guys can't cheat. But you have to fill that out before the Zoom is over. I will stay on for about 10 minutes. And then I will send it to Nick so you can get credit for the class. But it has to be filled out before you need to download it to your own device, because as soon as I close the Zoom, you will not have access to it. So you'll have to email me. So besides that, good luck, and it's all yours now.
All right, thank you. So no more technical difficulties. Everybody's good. We're seeing my screen. We're seeing my screen, or you're seeing me. It looks like they're seeing.
We see you.
Okay, you're supposed to be seeing my screen, so I need to screen share this again somehow on Zoom, which is what we had done before.
It's okay. Everything's going to be a great class.
It is once it gets started.
Yep.
Share screen. Share. And now you guys should be seeing my screen. Are we seeing the AI for real estate? Okay, we're good. All right, thank you everybody for coming. A little bit of hectic technical stuff, but it wouldn't be technology without that, right? So I'm Nick Motskis. I'm going to talk to you today about artificial intelligence. I'm going to kind of give you a litany of tools that I'm just going to kind of fly through, and then we're going to get to the meat of what we're talking about, which is it's a very powerful way to reach people exactly where they are when they're trying to buy a home, which is generally where? At the end of a keyboard, right? Online, on Google. So this is very powerful information if you know how to use it. So we are going to discuss briefly some CRM. It's basically customer relationship management, analytics, virtual staging, and then of course the lead generation. And I'm going to get into some SEO basics. How many of you are here in the room or online are familiar with search engine optimization? Yep. You know what that is? Yeah, so it's becoming extremely technical. However, it's not impossible for you guys to really get ahead of the competition in terms of being able to know what keywords are, how Google indexes them, and how you can best take advantage of the algorithms that are in place so that you can reach people in the most targeted and precise manner possible. Pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, this is just kind of a fun little introduction that I like to give. It kind of puts things into perspective, at least for me. 200,000 years ago, scientists say that we evolved into modern humans. And then they say about 12,000 years ago, as far as we know, we developed agriculture. So that means for about 188,000 years, humanity was pretty much in the same spot. And then at about 5,000 years after that, we start metallurgy, the Bronze Age begins, and then it's not until 130 years ago that we invent a car. So again, for thousands of years, we're kind of in this stasis. And then we're kind of more familiar with the story after that, right? By World War II, we have the modern computer. 40 years after that, we have the internet. And now 40 years after that, the math works out perfectly well. In 2023, we're dealing with the rise of artificial intelligence. So pretty crazy. What does it mean? It basically just means that you guys, this technological revolution is here to stay. It's exponential. We're past the elbow curve, as you would say, on an exponential chart. It's not going anywhere. So this is the world that we're in. So you guys need to learn basically what's available to you, the tools that are out there, how to use them. And the faster you do it, the more that you are getting ahead of your competition, which that's where we kind of step into real estate, right? Real estate is an extremely competitive market, especially nowadays with interest rates at 7%, right? We are all chasing after fewer and fewer transactions that are out there. So this is a question I like to ask. How many of you guys think that 80+% or more of your business comes from your sphere of influence? Usually it's most hands that come up, right? So it's interesting because that's 80+% of where your business comes from. And yet when even in your own experience, and we're in real estate, when you're going to go shop for real estate, what do? Do you like immediately call your real estate friends? Or do you go on Google and you get into a multiple listing service and you start looking at homes online, right? So it's kind of backwards. We kind of do it backwards. And it's because it is competitive. It's extremely competitive to get on Google and actually start developing systems that can cut through the saturation that we're starting to experience. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the keywords just to get this over with. Just one. All right. Snake. The keyword is snake. Okay. So in this, I'm going to aim to show you guys how to meet potential buyers exactly where they are in the moment they're trying to buy a house. And you're going to learn how to get them to your website and how to begin to automate that lead process. And there'll be a few other fun tools that we look at that AI are involved with. So some of the tools that AI has already started to do inside of real estate, it's basically customer relationship managers, AI content writers, chatbots, predictive analytics, virtual staging. So examples of chatbots. How many of you have been online and been shopping in some regard, and then there's an automated bot that pops up and starts talking to you? Like, let's go ahead and check out this one. This is one that's being commonly used for real estate. It's called Presidio, and what's cool about it is you guys get to set up the script that it's going to use to, in the context of real estate, book viewings for houses. So here's the chatbot. This is its general script on its homepage. But let's say we wanted to learn how can I use chatbots to book home listings as a real estate agent. And it's going to think about it for a while, and it comes up with contact information. Basically, it wants your email right away. Today, I haven't seen that before, but that's not uncommon. Email addresses are very valuable. So I'm just going to briefly touch on some of these tools, but this is one that I think is just in the beginning stages. So for example, can you imagine this? Let's paint a little picture for you guys. You have a website and it's keyword optimized, and you know how to use Keyword Planner, you know how to use Google Ads Manager. You're getting this website at the top of the Google search engine result page, or the SERP, right? But you're not constantly at your laptop. And so if someone's showing interest in a lead you've generated online and they are interested in going and viewing a home, this is the future of how people are booking homes to be shown immediately online. And there's a bunch of them that are available. There's Kel by Keller Williams, Roof AI, Structurally, Tidio, that's the one I just showed you, Mobile Monkey. And they're not that hard to set up. It's basically just a plugin. So if you've ever run a blog before, it's in the back end of the page. It's basically just a little bit of code that you copy and paste, and you can script it out so that it can be effective at following up on leads immediately so that you don't have to, because in my process for researching this, to teach you guys how to do this, I came across multiple instances where I had already booked a phone call to go view a home without even really trying to in about 20 seconds. So even if you guys aren't doing this, the competition is, all right? So another customer relationship managers, this is usually one that you guys are the most familiar with because almost every real estate office has some form of this, right? CRM. You guys do email sequences. So if someone has shown interest, there's like a sequence of emails, follow-up emails, things that, yeah. So you get that. What's cool about these things like Salesforce, for example, there's a lot of other ones, but they're just starting to integrate AI into it in an incredibly awesome way. So this is more kind of like forward-looking as well. The more familiar you are with what it can do, the better, but we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. I just want you guys to be familiar with the fact that CRM is being integrated with AI. So another interesting one is property valuation tools. These are just barely starting to work in the Utah market because we're actually a non-disclosure state. Things like Zillow's estimate, I'm sure you guys have heard of this one as well. It's pretty common. So the reason why it didn't work before was just simply because we don't know exactly what every home sells for. They don't have to disclose it. But there is powerful AI all over the rest of the country, wherever it is disclosed, that is able to basically calculate tons of data, thousands of data points, all the closings, homes in the area, things with similar valuations, things with similar features, and give you the most accurate instant ability to evaluate what the home would be worth. So this is another really cool one that we're not going to spend a lot of time on, but I do want to show you guys this. It's called predictive analytics. So look at this image on your screen. What's going on is there's an AI that's analyzing the picture and identifying the different components of a redone modernized kitchen. And then what it can do is it can crunch the numbers instantly for you and help you evaluate exactly what this room is worth, what value is being added to the home. So you can just quickly take a look at what this has to offer. It's once again, stuff is right in the starting gate. I don't actually know a lot of people using it, but that's why it's why it's important to keep educating yourself about stuff, because otherwise you don't even know it's out there, right? So I know I'm going pretty fast. Do you guys have any questions about what I've shown you so far? Okay. Let's go ahead and look at virtual staging. This website is called virtualstagingai.app. How many of you have recently staged a home to be viewed? Yeah, it's kind of a pain, right? You got to get furniture there. You've got to physically be there to show the home. What's happening now is pretty cool because this technology is evolving to the point where it can basically replicate exactly what it physically looks like to stage a room. This website called virtualstagingai.app. Actually, you guys are curious about this. I do have a list of their I know it's like a shotgun of information. All that much. Right, let's go ahead and go with keyword number 2. Keyword number 2, everybody. Everybody online? Let's go with Apple. It's Apple. Oh, yeah, yeah. How's our moderator doing? Are you still there? I don't
Yeah, you're doing great. It's
Okay.
wonderful.
Cool. So you get the idea. I teach this class all the time. Otherwise, I would upload the photo of the website. It's already got my cookies in it. But check these rooms out. So what I noticed about 5 years ago was that this technology made the room look kind of fake. Like you could just kind of see that these images weren't real stages. But look at it now. It's like the shadow effect on furniture. You know what I mean? The lighting in the room. There are some drawbacks to this. I've heard some real estate agents say that customers, if they see a home in a picture that's staged, they want to go and see it staged in person. But, you know, this is the technology. This is what, you know, there's drawbacks to everything, but yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get into the meat of what we're going to talk about, you guys, which is AI content creation. So how many of you have played around with Chat GPT? A lot of people. All right. Cool. It is an amazing tool. So it's pretty interesting. When AI began, right? We all thought that it was going to take jobs that would be like blue collar jobs, people working in factories. It ended up starting to take really highly creative and white collar jobs because of this language model that they ended up developing. And just a fun fact, even the people who use it actually don't know why it works or how it works. They put in the code, they get the result they want, and we go with it. But we don't really know why it actually sounds like a human and how it can think like that. So let's go ahead and talk about keyword optimization blogs written by ChatGPT. Keyword optimization, it is the most crucial thing that I could teach you guys about. And what's amazing about ChatGPT is it basically does it for you. This is like people spend tens of thousands of dollars on marketing degrees to go to school and learn about SEO and keyword optimization and search engines. And ChatGPT is literally taking all those jobs. But it's fine, it's good for us because you guys can get to the cutting edge of internet marketing without really having to know about internet marketing. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you should leave this with a thorough understanding of how to make effective blog content that generates leads. And you're going to learn how to use AI to target potential customers with absolute precision. So real quick, introduction to SEO. It sounds like a lot of you are familiar with this, but it basically means search engine optimization. And there's two main principles. Guys, can we be quiet and just listen? Thanks. I know we're going to get to the part where we play with ChatGPT. It will be more entertaining, okay? So on-page optimization is things that are on the page, meaning keywords that you are optimizing the blog page for. That's anything like the meta description, anything that is actually part of the content. That's your on-page optimization. Off-page basically just means what it sounds like. Things that are off the page that are also optimizing. That basically is your social media reach. Anything that you're using to link to this page, that's your off-page optimization. And we'll talk about that briefly as well. And ChatGPT is really good at doing that as well. So it's a SERP, is a search engine result page. I've touched on this briefly, but if we're being honest with ourselves, when's the last time you Googled something and you got past the first or second SERP? Anybody? It doesn't happen. So it's a small battlefield, and everybody's trying to get into it. And sadly, at this point, it is pay for play. I'll show you Google Keyword Planner, Google Ads Manager, and I'll show you where the battlefield is and how much it even costs. It's essential, you guys, that if you want to go beyond your sphere of influence, that you figure this stuff out. So let's get started with some keyword research. This is where it gets a little more hands-on. Do you guys know what Keyword Planner is? Anybody ever use this? Yeah, I see one nod. This is an awesome tool. So we're going to create a pretend blog post right in front of you guys because ChatGPT is good at doing that very fast. How many of you guys have a listing out right now? Or are you trying to sell a home somewhere? Yeah. What is the niche market? Like, where is it located? And if you had to describe the home. Okay. So is this a single family home?
Okay.
So you don't want to go too narrow because then it doesn't work what I'm trying to show you, but let's just say homes in Utah County. And let's get some results going on that so you guys can see in real time how this thing works. So what you're looking at here, there's these main columns of the data that it's providing analytics for. These are keywords that it sorts by relevance. So every time you think what somebody might be searching into Google, it's not always intuitive, you know. Sometimes it's counterintuitive, but these are the actual things that people are searching. And then this is showing you the number of times per month on Google, period, that it's being searched. So if you know what you're looking at, that's pretty valuable data, right? We know that homes for sale in Utah County get searched 1,000 to 10,000 times a month. We see that 3 month change in 3 months, it really doesn't change. Here's one that's a little more interesting. Realtor Utah County is down 90%. I think that has probably more to just do with kind of the funny phrasing of that. Like, but it was pretty crazy. But months passed because of the interest rates. Basically, all of this stuff was down like 300-400% year over year. I think we're at the acceptance stage of grief now when it comes to interest rates. So that's why it's kind of stabilized. Competition. So this shows you how high of competition it is to try to rank for this specific keyword. So that's a key one to look at. And the kind of the equation that you're looking for, right? You want to see something that has lots of searches, that the interest is stable, and that the competition is either low or medium, right? Because that's when the price, which is what we see here, is going to be the most reasonable. And just to be clear, what this is this is the price that you're going to pay in Google Ads Manager to rank at the very top of the search engine page. And it has the high end and the low end of the bid of what it will cost. And it's important to recognize that this is not cost per click. A lot of people have that misconception. They think Facebook ads, this is I'm paying for someone actually clicking on the ad, or Amazon. This is just what it costs for your page to show up at the top of Google.
Hey, Nick, there's a question in the chat. It says, how do you get to the keyword planner on Google Ads?
It can be a little tricky. You type in Google Keyword Planner in Google is usually the best way to do it. And then it's somewhere in the first page of the results there. We can make an example of that here though.
So does it charge you that every time someone types that phrase in to Google?
Only if it serves your ad. So what it's doing is it's like a round robin effect. There are a lot of people other agents who are going to try to rank for that exact keyword because they're trying to sell homes as bad as the next person. And only when it actually serves your ad. So it's like calculating the bid, calculating the relevance, which is what I'm going to try to show you guys, is how to make super relevant content for the search engine so that it will serve your ad.
So can you put like a budget in there? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll go over it. Yeah, you definitely don't have to just sign a blank check to Google. That wouldn't be good. So right here, see this? That I think, oh no. Ads.google, see that /tools/keyword. So that's it right there. Just click on that and it brings you to it. So that's keyword. That's how you get to this in the first place. Okay, what just happened? Go back to keyword. It's running away from me. Yeah, I gotta go like this real quick. Okay, so well, that's a good question though. I've had multiple people ask me that in the past. So let's go ahead and start forming a hypothetical ChatGPT written blog post to rank on Google. So the first thing that we want to do is identify our primary keyword. Before ever starting to write, you want to identify this because this is going to be the key phrase. It's going to be in the title, as well as multiple subheadings and in the body of the text. And you don't want to stuff it because then it will sound weird and that turns people who are actually reading it off. But as many times as you can logically get this keyword into the content, that's how the algorithm in Google sorts it and decides how relevant it is. So let's go ahead and go to ChatGPT. Where's it? Forget it. So ChatGPT is actually chat.openai.com. I'm sure some of you guys are already members of this. I actually subscribe to the paid model. It's exactly the same as this one, except faster, and its content is relevant up to this very moment. ChatGPT 3 only knows things up to about the end of 2021 for some reason. This is $35 a month to have the paid version. It's really not necessary to do what we're going to do, but just FYI. So this is actually going to be a problem. I need you to go away. You can drag it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. But it's still kind of in the way, but whatever. All right, so we're in our keyword planner. We've searched these keywords and we're trying to sell a home in Utah County. So let's go ahead and keyword optimize for what's the number one performing thing with lowest competition and lowest price. If we're analyzing these different things, I like homes for sale in Utah County. Why not? Let's do it. So we come into ChatGPT and we ask the incredible AI tool that we all have now to write let's keep it short for the sake of this class, 350 word blog post, keyword optimized for the term homes for sale. Now notice how vague that is. I haven't asked it what kind of blog post I want. I just want that, and watch what it can do. Somebody want to participate and read this aloud for me? No, that's fine. Discovering the charm, homes for sale in Utah County. So I'm a writer, and honestly, I'm not going to lie, to write a blog post like this, it would take me several hours at least, right? I'd have to have a couple cups of coffee. You know what I mean? It's like just being realistic. This is now producing this content for us in a matter of seconds. So pretty cool, right? Why Utah County? Utah County boasts a unique blend of picturesque landscapes, urban conveniences, and community-focused living. So what it's doing, we're going to break down what's going on. Like I mentioned, a lot of this is being done for you, but it does help to at least understand what it's doing. So any question? So what it's done is it's identified the primary keyword. Now we're using keyword research, specifically Google Keyword Planner. Why? Because it's Google, and it's the algorithm that I think it's 90+% of the internet. People find their information on Google. So why not just use their actual system to find it? So now what we're going to do is we're going to find some relevant keywords out of our keyword research, and we're going to have ChatGPT populate them into that blog post for us. So here's another medium competition one. It gets searched up to 1,000 times. Condos for sale. All right. Let's assume that we're trying to sell a condo. Oh no, you said single family home, right? So let's do that. Let's find. Let's go ahead and tell it to rewrite the blog post. Keyword optimizing for single family home as well. So what it's going to do, it's going to instantly revise this content, and it's going to stuff that keyword in as well. So what we could do, you can imagine this process is picking the most relevant keywords that you can think of, analyzing how many times they get searched, how high the interest is, what the cost is to optimize for that, and coming back to ChatGPT and just telling it over and over again, optimize for this in the subheadings, optimize for this in the content. That's basically the process of how you're hacking basically years of research in marketing. Because so this is where I like to just kind of take a second to just talk about marketing in general. How many of you guys do social media marketing? You say, how many times do you think you post a week? That's good. That's a good amount. You like consistently. I guess we'll do the next. Feel bad. There's a couple people left, but the next keyword. Let's have it be garden. So yeah.
So regarding, say, like posting on Instagram, with SEO, like optimization for ChatGPT, is it possible to bring like your content to the forefront of your channels? I know like they have their own separate algorithm, but it's not only SEO based, it's also like something different.
So yeah, that's an awesome question, and the answer is absolutely yes. So I almost had like a little bit of a meltdown when I started figuring out what ChatGPT was, because I was like, oh my God, the world's never going to be the same again. Like there's really no limit to what this thing does. So say, for example, turn this blog post into a Facebook post and optimize for hashtags related to the keywords. See, it's even got your emojis for you there. Pretty crazy. So what I was getting at, that's a good question, but a lot of people, I feel like it's the daily grind of marketing that kind of wears us down. And it's like you want to get off to a good start, so you spend this time making a post, and you post it, and maybe it gets like 3 or 4 likes, and you're like, oh man. And so you just kind of like put it on the back burner again, kind of avoid it. But now we have even less excuses not to be posting all the time, right? Because we have this thing that is creating content for us at a rate that's basically inhuman, right? And we'll get into best practices and why you should also definitely be reviewing what ChatGPT is creating for you, and right, definitely making sure that it sounds like you, that it's true to what you want to say, all that. I'm not saying this is the most ethical thing in the world, but I am telling you this is the world now, and people are doing it. And it's kind of like, do you want to sell homes or not? So write a compelling title. ChatGPT largely takes care of this, but like I said, best practices, review the title, see if it sounds like a little too flowery, or if it sounds corny or anything. Single family home treasures in Utah County. I'd probably revise that one a little bit. I mean, AI is not perfect, but so
I mean, there's that risk that someone's doing the same thing I'm doing at the time, and we're gonna have the exact same post. Is that possible?
yeah, it's interesting because and a lot of people are adapting. Yeah. A lot of people are changing their terms of service right now to address that exact issue. In my experience, it's creating incredibly unique things all the time, and yet there's always a concern for that. Like I know, for example, Amazon just changed their terms of service that all authors now have to disclose anything that the AI is doing. You've been here almost the whole time. The keyword, you snuck out.
We don't need them. We don't. It's that you online, so that they're paying attention.
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't even know that. So yeah, you want it to be attention grabbing. You want it to be clickbait. It's just reality of the internet, you guys. You want it to rank higher. You want to spread as many related keywords throughout the blog as possible. That's the part that ChatGPT makes so easy that used to be so hard. High quality content, obviously, you want it to be engaging, informative, relevant to your audience. That's what the keyword planner is helping you do too, because it's showing you exact search phrases that are being searched online and how to micro target your exact niche market, right? This is a big one. You're creating leads, right? So you're creating a real estate blog. For example, we can take a look at like Trulia's blog. The thing about this is it's a massive company, and they're writing the blogs for the purpose of just generating their overall brand online. So it's a little different. They just have their multiple listing service there. But for your purposes, if you're like an individual real estate agent, you're online, you want to have a call to action included into the post, so that if somebody is reading about a listing that you have, or a beautiful home, or in general the market, say they live in Minnesota and they're trying to move to Utah, you're trying to reach them, you want to include a call to action. It's super easy. You could even just tell ChatGPT include a call to action for, we'll say, a fictional real estate agent named John Doe. Cell number and email. You guys get it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but don't leave that out, because then it's kind of an incomplete lead. It's like having, fishing without bait or something like that. So yeah, so by following those 10 points, that really is what it is. And I know it can seem, if you're super familiar with this, it can seem kind of rudimentary, or it could seem completely mind-blowing if you're like, what the heck? I didn't know that people were doing this, but
Hey,
that's
Nick,
really the process. Yeah.
sorry to bother you. There's a few chats real quick. The first one is those of us online, you were telling that third word, and I think almost everybody was confused, even me, on which word it actually was. Was it garden?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Okay, so there you go, everybody.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even hear it, so everybody gets that one for free.
I'll get better at that part.
It's okay. But one of the questions was, will the earlier version do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It will do 98% of what the paid version does.
Okay.
The only difference is if you want to analyze. So there could be certain instances, say, for example, if you're trying to write a blog post about why real estate mortgage rates shot up in 2022, then you might need to pay for the version that knows about that. Does that make sense?
The other question was, there's a want for the copy of all this information. So you will have access to all their emails. So if they want that, then I don't know if that's something you give out.
Where will I have their emails?
When I give you the Google form,
Okay, I'll personally follow up with everybody and send it.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
You got it. So I briefly touched on this: on-page optimization, page titles, meta descriptions. A meta description is that little thing when you've actually searched in Google and it shows you like basically the gist of what you're about to click on. You want to fill those with keywords. A lot of people don't realize that. That's a huge opportunity to take advantage of what the algorithm's searching for. Also, image optimization. You don't realize it, but almost every effective blog, like we looked at Trulia's, there's all kinds of images, because that's what makes it engaging. You don't just want like a single long block of text, right? That no one's going to look at. And when you put the files into your website builder, you want to even name the files off of keywords that you're trying to optimize for in the blog. It's another thing that people don't realize, and that's a big one in terms of being competitive, is actually optimizing the file name on the images. Off-page optimization, your question kind of got us into that, but big ones, obviously, social media. You guys building high quality back-end content. Facebook's big for real estate. Instagram is also big for real estate. LinkedIn, although if it depends on who you're trying to reach. If you're trying to reach listing agents, maybe, but people trying to buy homes, I would say it's mostly Facebook. Engagement, there's a whole other course on that, how to actually build engagement on social media. My big thing is consistency. Question?
Yeah, so, right, stuff through the chat, like, it's the complete, like, is there a way for you to tell that you actually didn't do it? So like college students can really write essays, and get away with it without.
Yeah.
They do, that's why it's in the problem right now.
They-
In colleges.
They do, yeah.
Well, they have a thing now that's going through and saying, how much do we think this came from AI? And if it's more than a certain percentage, then that they take their.
But there's exceptions to every rule because, so for example, News Corp just came out and said AI is going to save the business because we can just fire a bunch of writers and have the AI write the news. But I would say, like I said, best practices, I would reread it. I would reread it and edit it regardless. It's a lot easier to have something to work with and then kind of make it creative, make it your own. But that said, especially for like professional reasons, I don't think anyone's trying to like say that you copyrighted a description of like Utah Valley or something, you know? Yeah.
So I heard that Facebook will kick out or not show your posts if they're written by AI. Is that true?
I would say I would say that there's always going to be, anytime that something changes, there's always going to be a lagging response to it. So I would say, no, it's not. It's not illegal, no.
Papers or something like that, you know, like you want the kids to be writing their papers or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But. I mean, they have this technology and this information.
Yeah. No, these are amazing questions. I would say, in terms of the way that I use ChatGPT, I never just let ChatGPT write something and that's it. I'm always got to have some kind of creative directorial input on it. And I think that that goes a long way. Even if there was no ChatGPT, people don't realize how much of things that we write could technically be construed as being plagiarized. Because we all think in generic ways and we're all reading the same source text and things like that. So AI actually thinks oddly similar to the way that humans think. But I think that in like the worst case example, yeah, you could get in trouble. I mean, if people just say, you're not doing this, it's AI, you know, what it's like, it's their website, they can choose what they want or don't want.
One other thing, in a coaching class that I'm in, they had us get our biography written by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So you just type in your name, write a biography for realtor.com. And it wrote all sorts of stuff. It knew all sorts of stuff about me. It was mind blowing. But you have to read through it because there were a few things that were not me that I was like, hey, that's not me. So I took those out. But besides that, I was like, how did it know all of that? Like it knew how many kids I had. It knew like all sorts of weird things. That's creepy. So, yeah.
It's sourcing the entire web instantly. It is kind of creepy. And one of the classes I did the other day, they asked me to ask it if it was going to become Terminator and kill everybody. And it has like these very like polished answers. It's like they've thought of that and so yeah, you guys are getting into some of this. Monitor your online reputation. If someone's like, nice ChatGPT written post, man, maybe, you know, it's like you should review it a bit more, edit what you're doing. But you can kind of, yeah.
Yeah, in ChatGPT, and I'll use this. What it is. Like.
I've never tried that. I've never tried that.
Getting information on yourself.
You could experiment with that, yeah. So local SEO. That was part of my like existential crisis, was use your imagination and just think about it. I don't know what it can't do. That's a better question rather than what it can do, what it can't do. We haven't had that for a while. Yeah, it is. How many times have you been talking about something and then an ad on your phone? Yeah. So this is a worthy point. What we do is, as real estate agents, is extremely local, right? It's kind of built into the process of what I showed you with Keyword Planner, but the more specific you get, that's called a long tail keyword. And the more generic you get, the fewer the words, it's a short tail. And there's something to be said about being extremely specific. Just because let's say only 10 people look for single family homes with an extra unit in back or something in Utah County. That doesn't mean you don't want to find that exact person who's looking for that if you have one, right? So being extremely specific can help. So putting it all together, I found the most effective way to do this rather than just reading this canned thing that I have here that we've already talked about is what is Presidio's website? And I would like to just kind of like show you guys what it's already doing for you. And then we can kind of put this all together and see how much better it could be. Dude, somebody must know it in here, right? Okay.
Our website.
Presidio, Utah. RE.com. Okay. So I definitely like the look of it. I'm buying, I'm selling. Let's see where these lead. Buying services. So you got a multiple listing service. All right. Let's say, for example, right, in your guys' bread and butter. What do homes cost around here? Okay. Let's just go with something like that. So here's your multiple listing service. This is good. I'm liking this so far. Do you know how they manage who's getting what leads off this? So what I can imagine, just to kind of paint a picture for you guys, and you can tell your broker about this or whoever, is imagine if a chat bot had like a very intuitive script that's not overbearing, that is actually gathering someone's email. So you could put it into your CRM. It's already following up, reminding them that they were interested in this property, or it could be texting them. It could be MMS texting them already. But this is pretty good. You guys have actually, usually it kind of seems like I'm picking on people when I look at their website, but this is actually pretty good functional website. But I would say that would be good. It'd be better if it was like specifically, so there it is, schedule a tour. I'd be interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. Yeah, let's say a Friday. What is this? So this is a little janky. You see that? So I'm scheduled to go see this thing.
Well, I hope you like it.
Yeah, I wonder which one of you is going to show up and show it to me. So this is what I would say is, you guys should talk to your brokers about who your multiple listing service is, because let's be honest, if someone's looking for homes online, they're going to go to a multiple listing service and look at homes, and how you guys could piggyback off of that, or what the most beneficial way is in general for the team to start implementing, say, like chat bots, consistent blog content. You guys could do guest blogging where like it's not all on somebody to generate all the content, but You know, these are the types of things that you got to start thinking about, and exactly what the budget is, what the advertising budget is. Do you guys have your own personal advertising budgets? Is that how it works? So this is what you do. You come to Google Ads and you just say, I want leads, and you just get going. And you set up a campaign this way. This is part of Keyword Planner, but so let's see here. You want performance max, search. There's different criteria that you can emphasize. I would say, let's go for search. Let's say we want website visits. Your website, just as an example, let's use your guys's. That was it, correct? Campaign name. Let's say you want, phone calls. Whatever. I'm just showing you guys how this is done, right? And it's cool. What I would suggest you guys do is go in and set up a moderate budget where it's not gonna like affect your life. Spend 35 bucks on ads, see how many top of the page, you know, Google views you guys can get on something. But you do need to establish your web presence. That's something that is like obviously on the agenda, number one. The internet's lagging a little bit, but. So how many of you guys have set up Facebook ads? It's pretty similar. This is the process. It's ads.google.com. You just go through, you answer the questions, you set your budget, set your keywords, which hopefully you know how to do now. Search for those. And then you got to have content. You got to have a web presence. And then if you really want to optimize it, get on your social media, share the link, and get after it. And there's no reason why you guys can't start generating leads. And that's pretty much what I have to show you. Any final questions on it? All right, awesome. No, thank you guys. Yeah.
Hey, I just need to remind everybody, thank you so much, Nick, for the class. In the chat is the Google form. I've put it in there a few times. You need to have that all filled out with all the keywords and all the information. Like I said, I will keep the Zoom on for about 10 minutes. As soon as the Zoom is done, you will not have access to that Google form and you'll have to email me personally. And then I will give that information to Nick and then he will.
And I know this is a little overwhelming. I'm happy to like do coffee or something and like help someone set up their first Google ad campaign. Anybody want a card? Yeah.
How many keywords did he give out?
3.
Gave out 3.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm definitely more than happy to follow up.